Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Vijal AI podcast. I'm here with Adi Berlia. It's our pleasure to be with you each week to bring you the top stories, what's happening in AI that really matters for you and for your business. As always, the Vijal Institute is available across the world. We are found at vijal.ai, VJAL.ai. We offer world-leading classes in AI adoption and transformation for your company, coaching, in-person workshops, and more. And I'm happy to be joined by the founder of Vijal today, Adi Berlia. Adi, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mark. And, everyone, thank you so much for joining on this podcast. We're trying to do these more and more frequently. Many of you join me for my State of AI updates, and that's a very large 90-minute format. And we thought, something more bite-sized there. And I'm very grateful for Mark, who is one of our super coaches and trainers, to be hosting this honor on a regular basis.
Thanks, Adi. Well, look, I think for your State of AI session you had on Friday, you said something like you had 117 AI stories. I've asked you to break it down.
174, Mark.
Wow. Well, I've asked you to break it down to the top three for this week. So let's start with number one, ChatGPT 5.5. What's going on? Tell me what matters.
Huge drop. We had the imaging model, which we might look at in just a bit, and highly anticipated. We had 5.4, which was a market leap from 5.3, and you have 5.5. This in the background of Claude saying, "Oh, our great mythos is too powerful to release to the public." We see 5.5 come out, posting similar numbers, similar capabilities, and it is available out more and more.
Yeah.
What's very interesting about this update is two or three very simple, interesting things. First, they've definitely now fully combined what used to be the coding model called Codex and the normal model into one. So now it's become one interface that works across all their platforms, which is fantastic. The second is token usage. So this is something that particularly businesses, consumers pay, all you can eat buffet, $20 a month. Consumers pay the flat rates, but the businesses, we pay, per thousand words, per thousand tokens, and
Yeah.
they're claiming and demonstrating higher, better abilities at a much lower token rate. It is a marginal improvement, in some cases a huge margin, 5%, 10% leaps. It's not the ChatGPT 6 level jumps that many of us were really hoping for. But so far, the reception has been really positive. But I think more has been their policy towards use, allowing people to use it, in the X clause, the nano clause, the open clause, allowing it to be used, in a very much more wider system than some of the more restrictive models. So I think on the whole, a great launch. And we are going to look at what now Google responds with, X responds with, and all to try and keep up.
So ChatGPT 5.5 better and cheaper and a little bit more consumer friendly, whereas Claude, which people love, is really kind of being more restrictive and doesn't want all these tools to connect to it, right?
Correct. And I mean, to be fair to them, they've been launching a tool every day. So their thing is use our ecosystem, which we have
Yeah.
created for you and all. It's going back to like the Mac versus PC days, right? The closed
Yeah.
ecosystem versus a more open-ended one, right? And I think OpenAI is sort of, you know, actually living up to the open name a little bit right now.
Yeah. So we like to think that all the exciting things happening in AI are in Silicon Valley, but I guess we ignore the Chinese at our own peril. What's going on with DeepSeek?
Unbelievable. And I'm going to share my screen really quickly, Mark, to show you these numbers, right? So, we had the huge thing by Claude that, oh my God, our models are too amazing. What are we going to do? And they are amazing. And then you had ChatGPT 5.5 come in, and then you have DeepSeek, open source, free, full model weights. Everybody can use it. Everybody can learn how it was built, punching in at near state of the art across the board. Right. And we had GLM launch. We had, again, another great open source model. We had a bunch of other ones come in, and it's really striking that we have the Chinese companies really championing open source, while the sort of the home or the origins of open source, the US, is still kind of figuring that out and trying to put it out. But this is anybody's game, and I think DeepSeek once again shows that they are able to put out, even with all the ecosystemic restrictions, let's say, that they have, really put out a wonderful model. For businesses, this is very, very important. One, it keeps costs down. Everybody worries there's going to be a rug pull, like, oh, it's so cheap, it's so cheap. Oh, no, it's not. Now it's like 10x, right? You get us hooked on the cheap tokens, and now you suddenly raise the price. And when you
Yeah.
see models like DeepSeek come in at these sort of amazing completions, running on, whether it is GPU hardware or third-party data centers or custom stuff like Grok with a queue, that allows one, the pricing to stay pretty stable in the market, but also allows a lot more people and a lot more countries and a lot more companies to start entering the AI race because they can see how to build these very state-of-the-art systems. It's no longer this super secret that stays in a few big labs.
Well, if I recall, when the first DeepSeek came out and caught attention, ChatGPT had made this amazing model, spent hundreds of millions of dollars to develop it, took 18 months. The DeepSeek comes out and said, we did it in 30 days and it cost $12 million because we've learned from you. Is that, that's still sort of the case?
It is, but Pankaj, so that for me was very historic because apart from
Yeah.
anything else, what DeepSeek did, anything everybody, I think
Yeah.
even OpenAI learned from it, was
Yeah.
that hey, we are resource restricted, so we're going
Yeah.
to spend a lot of engineering time showing
Mm,
how to do this on the most efficient way possible. And so a lot of their innovation, which was also open source, which is again driving the AI boom, was
mm,
by DeepSeek. I want to be very careful and say it's not just they copied, ChatGPT copied off Google's original paper and the research keeps flowing, but rather their focus was the engineering part on how to make this cheaper in a resource constricted environment. And you can clearly see they've been really being able to deliver on that. $100 billion data centers versus these guys are not spending $100 billion
yeah.
on data to do it.
Yeah.
So I think that is the key learning is that there's still so much innovation to be done at every point in the ecosystem, whether it's at the training and pre-training level, at the data labeling, whether it's at the process and kernel optimization, whether all the way end at the edge and the inference and the local. And we've seen
Yeah.
174 updates in the last month.
Yeah. And is this last question on this, Adi, is DeepSeek safe enough for me to use for my business, or is it rather keep
Oh,
an eye on it and see where it
100%.
goes? Oh, yeah.
No, no,
Okay.
100%, right? This is a misconception that these are somehow learning or sucking your data and
Yeah.
sending off to either OpenAI or the Chinese or something.
Mhm.
But what most large businesses would do is they would host DeepSeek in a cloud provider who they trust, who they have an
Mhm.
SLA with, who is fully compliant. And it could be an
Got it.
Amazon, it could be a Microsoft, it could be one of the other 10, 15 major, it could be NVIDIA. All of them will host the DeepSeek model. Make sure
Hmm.
it's secure, sanitized, make
Yeah.
sure it works with and is fully compliant. So I think it's less about the model and it's more about where you're deploying it. And
Got it.
with the new Google paper which came out, which is fully now in production, it's they can quantize it down, which is kind of make it smaller without losing much of it to 1/6 its size very fast. And so that's been
Wow.
a great ability for even people to run it locally.
Yeah. Incredible. Thank you. Well, so look, third story of the day. Vijal Institute is all about helping enterprises and businesses transform using AI. Tell me a little bit about how AI and leadership is happening around the world.
Mark, absolutely. See, AI and leadership for us at Vijal, we've seen this time and time again. We have 2.5, 3 years now of great, great amounts of data on everything about how this works, what builds success. And one of the number one indicators of success is senior leadership, board, CEO, C-suite, everybody doing this hands-on. The moment
Yeah.
you outsource it to young people, or you outsource it to tech, or you outsource it to HR, it just becomes another project, another sprinkle, another tag along. Senior leadership really has to be in it. And I want to find and quickly share with you one
Great.
interesting, Facebook post I came across. And I'm not normally around Facebook, but I thought this was a nice thing. And this is, a Singapore foreign minister, and really saying that talking about how he's deploying a full nanoclaw system, which is one of the variants of the open claw system, in his own department. And he's able to use it to sort of getting all the knowledge graph and speeches and articles over time that they've given and he's done. And now he said, look, I can't imagine, being a diplomat without this. And,
Yeah.
yes, I'm sure his staff probably helped him write some of that as well. But
Yeah.
it really shows that this is leadership using, at least trying to understand and trying to push. And Mark, this is what the big thing we're seeing in Vijal, right? The older you
Mm.
are, the better you are at AI,
Yeah.
right? Senior leadership has to do it themselves. This is transformational. This is a full change of your business model. This is a full change of how we do things as individuals, as communities, as companies, as countries. It's not an IT project. It's not an ERP tag along. It's not something that you outsource to a vendor to simply implement. It's something senior leadership have to use and imbibe in their own lives and in their businesses to really succeed at it.
Yeah, getting great responses on AI means giving great prompts, which means having great questions from great experience. And so, great example, Adi.
100%. You can't, I mean, if you're a young person, you look at some beautiful blank screens, very hard to know what to ask. And if the
Yeah,
AI answers, is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. Right. So,
yeah.
so we see older, hopefully wiser, but at least more experienced people get 7 to 9x compared to young people who might get 40%.
Excellent. Well, that's our three stories. Each week you do a cool demo for us. There's so much to do. Do you have something you can show us today that you think is going to be useful and maybe a little fun too?
100%. And we talked about the new imaging model, right? And Nano Banana from Gemini had already completely rocked our world, right? And then
Yeah,
Chat GPT Image 2.0 comes out. And I want to look at this beautiful comic.
yeah.
And few things strike out for me. Perfect text, extraordinary detail, right? And not just one page, but three consistent pages, right? Each one of these is a little bit of a prompt of its own, you would think, right? And then we finally have the end, it's the journey. And here's the crazy part. This is my prompt. We have our AI gym system, which we talk about, and we just took 3 images and a logo, and we said, convert this to among of at least 3 pages, joining the Vagina Institute and the journey into becoming extraordinary at AI week by week, doing AI every day. Logo is attached. This is a 10-week coaching program. Now, coaching program is our most successful transformative program. And I love the fact that, just with a simple prompt and a couple of reference images, you can get an absolute, consistent, beautiful, and amazing comic. This for me is a massive game changer. Imaging is truly now fully here. Very hard to say this was done by AI, and honestly, beautiful and extremely useful. So please, if you haven't tried this, please jump in. Many of you haven't opened your ChatGPTs in a while. You may be using Claude or Gemini. Load up a free subscription or your old subscription. Ask it to make a very interesting image. Ask it to make a social media post. You'll be surprised and shocked at how amazing, what a big leap it is from what we could do last year.
It's amazing. And I think when you guys do this, notice what Adi was showing too, the text is just perfect now. It wasn't the case in the previous versions, but now it does this beautiful text. All the words make sense. They're really well done.
And Mark,
Great.
and it's also not just text, right? And I think this is the great part, the conceptual understanding of what you're trying to do, right? Even at one is getting the text right. I didn't even give it text. It kind of figured out what it wanted, and it was really able to do it. So I mean, I don't want to overstate this, but the big leap the imaging models are making, it's not just now about, I can make a pretty picture, but understanding and conceptualizing and baking that in as a multimodal system, that is truly unique.
Yeah, and the consistency across images that your main character in image one looks the same in image 10. I love it. So thanks, Adi. So also,
Absolutely.
lastly, each week you tell us a story of a business success, somebody you worked with that has really adopted AI in their business and found improvements. Can you share something with us today?
Oh, I love to. I mean, we have so many stories now. I know we just have 170, 180 companies coming off our coaching program these past weeks, and each of them has a massive impact story of how just in 10 weeks of this they've saved or gained millions and millions of dollars. One of my favorite ones, and this is a big South American retailer, lots of warehouses, and they went through our coaching program, and they were one of the few visionaries at that time. Now, of course, we have everybody who sort of wants to do it, who put even junior level staff in the coaching program. It can be a little bit expensive, so people try to only say, okay, only C-suite and people. And what happened was you had a very junior warehousing guy who was sitting in the warehouse who went through the program. And part of the program, we create agents, and these agents are then deployed, and we see impact and all of that. And they managed to achieve about $10 million in inventory cost savings that year. And they were shocked. They were like, wait, who did this? And we zoomed down into this one guy, and it's like, how did this guy do this? This is like on a project you would hire a big consulting company and they would do a huge thing, etc. Like, Guy was working at the warehouse for 5 years. He knew every single thing that went on there, and he just put all that knowledge into the agent, and it was able to absolutely optimize, get things done in a level that, an external consultant or even their own more senior level staff people may not have been able to do. And for me, the big takeaway is that, when we go in and we do company transformations, it's often not clear who's going to be the most valuable contributor, who's going to provide that essential experience, that essential knowledge into the system that's going to unlock those huge gains. And so that's why we always say when we do full transformations, yes, it has to start at the top. If senior leadership is not checking in every day, this thing is not going anywhere. But it's something you can spread all across. And even though your junior most people might get a 40% bump, but the fact is they have extraordinary company knowledge and extraordinary expertise that can have incredible gains for you, even with a simple agent that they built, in a couple of hours.
Amazing. Look, I just finished a coaching session for a client in Vijal a few minutes ago, and I said to people, "Who is the world's leading expert on your job? It's you, right?" So that's it. It has to come from within. The team members are the ones who are the experts. So I love it. Good, Adi. Well, thanks. Look, a great week, three great stories, a great demo, and a good anecdote. Thanks everybody for joining. Remember, Vijal, VJAL.ai. Connect with us for coaching, for training. You can write email to outreach@vijal.ai. And as always, Adi, thank you, and see you again next week.
Thank you so much, Mark, guys. And thank you so much for always joining us. And good luck out there. It's going to be an incredible month ahead in AI.